Lil Durk says he's going to stop speaking on the dead in his raps. I'm going to get a couple excerpts here from the interview, and then we can kind of jump into if we think this is going to be substantial, if it's going to have any weight or not. Because Durk he say he's the voice. He's always said that, and fam is extremely popular around the world. So when he says he's the voice, I believe him when he says that. He says even if you do 99% of it's right, you still got 1% of the demons with you. You get angry fast, and one reply can F up $1 billion. That's why I'm not saying names no more in my music. I ain't speaking on the dead no more. None of that. And he also says, I'm not chasing death no more. I'm chasing $1 billion. I want our kids to grow up safe and sound, be able to have fun, and have a real life, is what he says. But that first comment, it kind of speaks to, I want to clean up, but I want to clean up because it's messing, it might impact my bag. If I took that wrong, y'all correct me. But the overall question is, with Durk saying this, Durk is very impactful. Durk's impact is crazy to me. I know it is. We know it is, especially in the Midwest, Chicago, just around the world. Durk is one of the top figures in hip hop. Say what you want, drill, whatever you want to call it. With him saying this, how do you guys respond to what he said? First, he talked about the bread and the implications that come with it because of, how he might jeopardize himself. But he also talked about his personal demons and, things of that nature. How do you guys think this will be received? Will this be something that he can spearhead as a trend, or is this just a blip and it sounds good in an interview and it's just a good comment? Terry, I come to you first. What do you think about Durk saying this? Is there impact here? Possible impact.
Chicagoans follow suit. I mean, I don't really see. Okay, all right. Let me take that back with my previous thought. I'm not even gonna say it.
There we go. Okay.
I think it's responsible to the families of the deceased, not to mention these people. You know what I'm saying, that lost their lives to gang violence. But not only should you not talk about the people that have died, you probably stop talking about killing people altogether. That's the root of the problem right there. Is killing people in general. Just because you don't talk about the exact person that you killed, you're still talking about a death of somebody, or not necessarily that you did it, but it may be a story. You know what I'm saying? You are the voice of the people. So
crazy subliminals. We know that.
So, I mean, you would essentially have to change your whole rap style in order to not be offensive, because if he's talking about certain things, just because he doesn't mention the exact name, right, the people that know will know how to read between those lines and sorry for what he's talking about.
So would it be fair to say that you think it's a good start, but you don't necessarily believe in the actual impact, because he would have to change his whole 90% of his
there's
swag
plenty
in order
other
for this
people that are talking about smoking on such and such.
True.
So I mean, him doing it, I applaud him for taking a stance.
Because he's one of the bigger artists. That's what I'm saying. He's one of the bigger artists to do this. So the fact that he's actually saying it, I think it holds weight.
But generally, only this certain segment of music does. The whole drill scene is the only one that does it.
Okay.
So right. How many drill artists are prominent right now?
Not as prominent as him. Nowhere close.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, the impact comes with him, but I see what you're saying, because it's more, death and unsolved killings and stuff that be happening in the Chi, and these are not necessarily quote unquote known, artists or whatever you want to call it. So that's a good point.
King Von was going nuts on tracks.
Facts.
And he was actually out here doing that stuff, or did it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's documented.
Yeah,
it's documented.
It's well documented.
Yeah, it's documented. That's facts.
I mean, you can read Twitter passages and all kind of stuff about it.
Come on, and please don't get into the comments with the responses.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's facts. Jay Moore, talk to me, man. How do you feel about Lil Durk saying, he's gonna pull back on the op talk and the pack talk, and
it means absolutely nothing.
Oh, you going zero?
It means absolutely nothing. Look, man. If anything, I have observed in my time of observing this thing that has to do with hip hop is that rappers really are not leaders in the community. Hip hop has been trying to tell the streets to act right since self-destruction. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even before that. I just remember self-destruction being such a big moment. Remember when, of course we remember, because we talked about it here extensively. When Nipsey died, and I remember people was like, man, I'm never going to talk about another rapper. I'm going to keep that to myself. Then it was maybe 3 months, and everybody was back to the bull. I'm just saying, you know, people want to say, oh, it's great that these rappers say this. I love even when Gucci Mane, he said, you know, no more dissing the dead. That's great.
He said, stop talking about ops. He said that.
Yeah, but you know
stop
what?
Smoking on packs.
And that's great. And that's great. I'm glad that it might be good for their particular brand. If I've seen anything at this point, as far as how the streets are related to what happens as far as hip hop is concerned, the streets don't be listening to y'all. They really don't. You know, and I'm not saying I don't want you to stop encouraging the streets. But at the same time, like Durk could come out here and sing about flowers and going to school and respect your parents, and Chicago's still gonna be Chicago.
Let me jump in
because there are underlying reasons for why those things are happening. It has nothing to do with Lil Durk, and Lil Durk can't stop it.
Let me jump in the chat real quick. Terry, I'm coming back to you. Lone says, I don't buy into it being directly responsible for the violence that's being spoke about, though.
That's more so why I was speaking on respectful to the families.
The families, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, essentially.
Because Lone said, and we've talked about this, Lone said it still goes back to the material conditions and so forth. Yeah. We talked about it before. Right. That's a good point. That's fair, Lone. It's just like, we hadn't had a rapper, to me, of this level that's actually from that, quote unquote, in that has said, I'm going to pull back from this type of talk. This is new. This is different.
Well, I mean, it's just like, you know, I think we've had the conversation about everybody talking about, we got to check in.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look, as long as there are dusty gang members out here with low self-esteem, you know, there's no amount of checking in that's going to, I don't care.
I don't think the guys that are telling you to check in are that dusty.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money and a whole lot of respect and goons.
You know what? If
it's not.
And resources.
Yeah, it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not dusty behavior. It's more so.
Come on now.
You might have that word. I just don't agree with it being dusty.
Okay, maybe dusty is kind of harsh, but I'm just saying, like,
not even that is harsh. It's just
I'm just saying, like, it don't, for all the checking in and make sure you do this, that, and the third. If you in certain places and people don't know how to act,
you're not the mayor. Essentially, I don't need to check in with you.
And you don't. And there are people around you who don't know how to act, or you got something that they want. There is no amount of people you could check in with, and it's not like if, say, PNB Rock whatever had checked in.
Yeah. That fool and his son still would have been out there.
They still would have been in and saw something that he had that they wanted and were willing to take penitentiary chances for, you know, a temporary monetary relief.
Look at the Migos. They checked in.
They checked in.
Quote unquote. They checked in. They
had a problem with Jay Prince's son.
You know, I mean, and like I said, I brought up Nipsey. Nipsey didn't have to check; he was in his own city.
That's what makes it even work. At his own store,
on his own property. And once that
was dusty.
Yeah, that was a dusty gang member who's just. And the thing is, you know, when we talk about
good point
businesses and what I'll say this, and maybe this will reach somebody and it'll make sense to them. Every time, you know, a rapper gets shot, do you realize you're closing a black business?
Yeah.
You know,
I like that.
I mean, when, you know, it might be your man might do beats. This dude over here might do graphic design. This dude is good at this. Like, you got people who have come from the street and found out a way to be managers and be legitimate businessmen because Big Dog got on and got some hit records, and we were all able to eat and find a way. He didn't just give us fish; he taught us how to fish. And so maybe that's the message that we need to be putting out here. Now you killed Takeoff. You didn't just kill an individual. Now there's like 20, 30, maybe 40 people who can't eat now. You burned down a black business.
Facts.
So maybe maybe we need to frame it differently.
And I honestly think, in my opinion, I'm not no street person. I'm not that person. But the ramifications of this young man losing his life in Houston, in Texas.
It was Houston.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm right. Ramifications of this young man losing his life, how he lost it, the circumstances as relates to checking in and all that type of stuff. Bro, the ramifications of this with people from Atlanta going to Houston and vice versa, like, this could get real bad, and it's all sad because
I mean, it's the same thing with you know what I mean?
Like, this could get ugly for no, like, it's just.
There are people who probably
just
look
sad,
at Yo
bro.
Gotti some kind of way after Young Dolph. You know,
You think?
They did.
we're
Memphis.
we're a
They
year
did.
out from Young Dolph being. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, does it?
He
But
still
we're-
got to be cool.
I mean, in Memphis, you was either a fan of Young Dolph or Yo Gotti.
Yeah, so that's
I mean,
it.
yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, instead of seeing these like rivals, you know, and once again, like the people who shot Dolph, like they on trial now. You know what I'm saying? They're never coming home. And
Those were dusty individuals.
once
Thank
again,
you.
maybe
Thank
that maybe those are the, when I say dusty, that's who I'm talking about.
That's a dusty. Those
you know,
are dusty.
like I said, they didn't even shoot. They didn't shoot him to take no money. They didn't shoot him for. They just shot him to shoot him.
Right.
And what they did is like they just basically now it's black children growing up with no father. It's
Yeah.
a black woman growing up without her partner. And once again, now the big dog is gone, Young Dolph. Now that's a whole black business that you basically burn to the ground because you have low self-esteem and don't know how to act.
100%.
No, the
100%.
situation in Black Wall Street.
You know, and so,
you working
but
for
now
them.
we do it,
Good
and
call.
I
Good
hate
call.
to be all, you know, and this is gonna come off as black Republican talk, but like now we doing it to ourselves. You get mad at, you know, the other communities, whatever, you know, because that's come up a lot. I'm not gonna say whatever, but okay, we over there talking about what they doing to us, but what are we doing to us?
Exactly.
You know,
Got to deal
That
with
always
your
gets
responsibilities.
that always gets pushed to the side.
that always gets pushed to the side, and the thing is like, and like I said, I that just came to me how. We maybe we don't frame it as if you're burnt when you kill a rapper, burn down a black business in your own community.
I like that.
You know,
I
like I don't, because like now that Nip is gone and that whole setup at Crenshaw and Slauson,
it's gone.
it's So now somebody else.
Marathon don't run the same way.
So
It
now
it's not continuing
No
like
pun
we
yeah.
thought it
So
would.
now they're gonna put a Starbucks or
Yeah.
a Burger King or whatever.
or they actually gonna come in and do what they was trying to do in the first place. Nip was actually blocking the city and state from taking that from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He started buying it up, and he was still in a situation where he was blocking them from doing certain things.
Shout out to LeBron too. He's doing the docuseries on. I think Lone put this in the chat on Nipsey Hussle as well. About I'm assuming it's about what Terry's talking about, what he was trending towards.
Yeah, he
and
was
the impact
funding
of his
STEM
death.
projects.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
yeah.
schools,
And
all kind
and
of
you know
stuff.
what? All that stops now.
Yep.
Right.
Because
Right.
one person couldn't handle, you know, just being he didn't have the self-esteem just to walk away, go home,
Fame,
you know.
ego and fame.
These
is
cowards
tough.
kill people.
You
man.
know,
Cowards
and
kill
so
people all the time.
these cowards are every time they kill a rapper, they are burning down a black business that can never be restored because you cannot come back from death.